Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with one of the latest in this ongoing and really interesting series on Naxos of music of Brazil. And here we have a disc dedicated to Brazilian composer Ronaldo Miranda, who was born in 1948 and who is still with us. Yay! It's so good to hear music that isn't always by a dead person. Now, Miranda's style is quite eclectic. There are 4 works here, and they are, all of them are, I found very, very interesting and enjoyable to listen to, but they're very different in style, or they partake of several different styles. The first work here is his Piano Concerto of 1983. Now, it's in 3 movements. It's in the standard 3 movements, and it's quasi-atonal, in the way that Bartók could be in his gnarly phase. You know, Bartók of the music for strings, percussion, and celesta, the miraculous mandarin, that kind of stuff. Miranda is not necessarily a folklorist, a romantic nationalist composer, although he does use Brazilian idioms here and there. But this is a spiky, surprising, and I thought very interesting piece. The musical argument is easy to follow. Whether it's tonal or not is kind of irrelevant. What matters is whether he's able to create interesting thematic ideas and shapes and things that we can follow. And he does. He definitely does. And so, I mean, it's not going to be a popular blockbuster kind of piece. Who are we kidding? It's a little bit difficult for that, maybe. But he has a distinctive voice. And he writes very well. And this was... I was happy to discover it. Now, the next piece is Horizontes, Horizons, from 1992. This is a 3-part tone poem about Christopher Columbus's discovery of the Americas. All of them, not just the northern part. And, well, at least I presume. The interesting thing about it, of course, is that he was able to write this without any of the political correct nonsense that would have accompanied an American composer doing something like that. Can you imagine American as in the United States? Could you imagine a major orchestra today doing a piece celebrating the discoveries of Christopher Columbus? Oh, my goodness, we'd be hearing imperialism and yay. Well, apparently, Mr. Miranda had no problem. And it's a very colorful and enjoyable piece. Again, the style is very eclectic, from tonal and melodic to, dissonant and quirky. And it's brilliantly scored. And it's really, really fun. It's only 11 minutes long. It has 3 parts. One is departure, and then waiting, espera, either waiting for the sight of land. And then finally, the discovery. Oh, the happy ending when... they see on the horizon the new world. And, it got me to thinking, it really did, about just how stupid our particular cultural predilections are. Because whether or not you agree or disagree or like or don't like what Columbus did or what he represented or whatever we want, nonsense we attach to his arrival in the New World and all the subsequent history of it, it was an amazing thing he did. I mean, it was a real feat of vision, of daring, of danger, of bravery and courage and a triumph of the human spirit. It really was. I mean, we shouldn't minimize that. Good heavens, just because of some quotidian philosophical, you know what I mean. So that's the second piece, Horizontes. Then we have the Concertino for piano and strings of 1986. Now, this is quite neo-romantic. Again, Bartók comes to mind a little bit, but it's really a fun work. It's just delightful. I mean, the piano writing is bubbly and exciting. And the tune that begins its second movement, which is a rondo, it's marked allegretto, is really cool. I mean, it's going to get stuck in your head. It's a really good tune that seems to be distantly related to the theme that concludes Brahms' second piano concerto. I mean, I don't think that Miranda was borrowing, although he does do a little of that here and there. We'll talk about that in a minute. But there is a certain similarity in the shape of the melody. Da 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 da. But that was the Brahms sort of kind of. Well, his is a little bit similar, only more harmonically quirky. Anyway, it's really nifty. It's a terrific piece and very enjoyable on a first listen. And then finally we have the Temporal Variations, subtitled Beethoven Revisited, from 2014, a 9-minute theme and variations that was originally conceived as a prelude to a performance of Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony. So it makes reference to the idea of, well, temporal means time and tempo, but it also means storm in Spanish and Brazilian languages. And so there's the Storm Sonata and some other Beethoven sonatas put in little tiny appearances, little tiny appearances, not like big huge gobs of borrowing or quotation. Actually, I really like the way Miranda handles the quotation business. So much contemporary music is overtly based on earlier music, and that's how it tries to give itself a certain legitimacy. Well, here the references are passing, and they're very well integrated, and the piece has its own business to mind. It's a very nice theme and variations with some really interesting ideas, all welded together, and it's fun to listen to. So even though you're not going to go home humming this stuff, I mean, he doesn't write down to his audiences, and it's challenging at times, but really well-crafted music. And it was a discovery. I really enjoyed making his acquaintance, and I think you will too. The performances sound to be very good. The pianist is Eduardo Monteiro, who really seems to know what he's doing. And again, we have the Gerais Philharmonic Orchestra under Fabio Mechetti. Very well recorded. So yeah. I mean, Minas Gerais is a place I've always wanted to go to because I collect rocks, and that's where like the big mines are. Yes, where you can like find, rock things and stuff in Brazil. Only one of the places. There are many actually. Anyway, terrific entry into the Naxos edition of Music from Brazil. Roberto Miranda is a composer I would enjoy encountering again when the cat stops yelling. Mildred, cool it. I know. She wants to play. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.